Watch this video with me.
We all have. And while we're going through this kind of upside down, turbulent world, the one question we should ask ourselves, and you all kind of came right to it, is who is in your posse? Come on, y'all. Who's in your posse? Who's in your posse? Okay? Sometimes family can't even be in your posse. Nah, come on now. Don't act like y'all don't know what I'm talking about. I got some of the craziest uncles in the world. I wouldn't listen to them. You understand what I'm saying? Some aunts that don't make too much sense. But then I got something to do. I count them as part of my posse, a couple of them. But who's in your posse? Part of what I love about this program, Henrietta, William, all of you who displayed talent this morning, this afternoon, part of what I love is that you're building your posse. You're building your posse. Huh? Your posse doesn't necessarily have to mean somebody that you even know now. Your posse, you may not know until next week. Somebody talked about dreams and thoughts and ideas as they were having the discussion that we may have. We may not have the money, but we got the idea. Huh? And you may not know what posse member you're going to connect with today, but next week, you done connected with somebody, the idea comes to fruition. Who's in your posse? Who can you reach out to? Henrietta, you gave a great example of a board of directors. I've had some of my friends who've said the same thing. They have a board of directors in their life that spans every area. So if they get in trouble over here, they know who they can call over here. Huh? Who's in your posse? And you need posse members now more than ever. You need support now more than ever. And men, y'all need it too. Come on. Men need it too. And men have to get out of this idea that I'm going to run this battle, I'm going to run this race alone. Because you can't do it alone by yourself anymore. You need partners that think like you, want the same desires with you. Don't just run with anybody, men, now. Okay? Because some folk get you off in trouble. Okay? You wind up losing wives sometimes if you run with the wrong. Come on, y'all can give it a little laugh. Come on. Make sure you're running with the right posse now. Okay? But we need people around us to support us and who we can.
All right. That was a keynote, part of a keynote um, videos or keynote speech, excuse me, from one of the greatest mentor of all time. Yes, I am a little bit biased, but to me, he was one of the greatest mentor of all time, Dr. Lee Gill. I encountered this man when I used to go to the University of Akron, and about 15, 16 years ago, he was the very first person who spoke life into who I was going to become, or who I am today, actually. And so, inviting him when I launched my nonprofit organization, Chosen G, really felt like a full circle moment. And so, he delivered this keynote. And the reason why I'm sharing with you today is because what Dr. Gill shared that day and the snippet that I took is actually one of the reasons why I have seen the most success in my life and in other people that I've walked alongside with. And so today I wanted to talk about it because I believe that in the season that we're in and what is to come, it is important to distinguish the key people in your corner. Okay, this keynote was delivered about 2 to 3 years ago, but it's a concept that I've been applying for over a decade in my life and has made a great deal of difference. And so in the keynote, he talked about who is in your posse. essentially, the key individuals in your life that make a big difference. Now, the keynote was long, okay, because Dr. Lee Gil, he's a JD, okay. He has his Juris Doctorate in law, so he was very straight to the point and brought in some really good things. But this snippet of it was the meat of everything that he wanted to accomplish that day through his keynote delivery. And so he, as you can hear from the video, he talked about who's in your corner, essentially. And for me, that was the very first time I heard that word. Okay, I was like, okay, Dr. Gill, you never spoke to me that way. Or maybe he did and I forgot about it. But those of you who are curious to know what posse means, here's a quick definition. A posse, according to Google, is a group of people, specifically a group of friends, a search party, or historical law enforcement group called by a sheriff. Remember, he is, law is his territory, so I wasn't surprised they used this term. But when you scroll down a little bit, it says that it is a slang for a close circle of companions, an entourage that someone hangs out with regularly, and or a collection of people grouped together for shared activities such as posse of reporters following a celebrity, yada yada yada. This is just to give you a little background of what it could mean. But long story short, these are just key individual in your corner that basically come through for you, whether high season, low seasons. These are people that come through for you, okay, no matter what. And in fact, Dr. Gill gave a few examples. He even addressed the man. He's like, hey, man, watch out. Y'all are not an island. Just make sure that you have people in your corner that can pull you together. Now, for me, before I met Dr. Gill, I really felt like I was an island. I felt like I needed to do everything by myself. And I faced a lot of hardship, okay? Things were incredibly difficult for me because everything was in my head. Everything was in my head. Everything was and I was just struggling by myself, okay, for a couple of reasons. Number one, I just thought like I was the only one who knew me better, right? I'm the only one who knows me better. And I maybe you could say I also had a little bit of a challenge making friends, okay? But the whole point of this is that I saw the difference when I transitioned from I am by myself, going through the hard season, going through the storms, going through whatever it is I was going through, and coming into a season where I had people who genuinely cared for my success. They genuinely cared for my well being, they cared for my mental health, like you name it. Like they made a big difference, just like Dr. Gill, right? He came into that season of my life not just as a mentor. He was really the man in the corner. He would actually take me to events that he didn't want to go just so I can make connections with doctors because I have a degree in I have a background in biomedical engineering. And so he really truly believed in my capabilities. He believed in where I was going. He believed that I could honestly make a difference. And so in that season, that's what he became for me. Okay. But he wasn't just a mentor and eventually a friend. What I really liked about him was that he was honest, he was raw, he was gentle, but he was tough. And that is exactly what I needed in that season because that defined who Henrietta is today. Okay. And so a posse or a group of people, not necessarily people that just cheer you on, right? Not just for the good stuff and always there to say, yes, you can do it. But these are honest people that can tell you, hey, you're a little bit rough on the edges. Something is going on. Okay. You may want to consider other options, okay? And so they still exercise kindness, but at the bottom root of it, they ensure that you are in line with your destination, like, in line with what you're trying to achieve to get to your destination. And so these people can be your friends or they can be strangers that God brings into your life in that season just so that you can get to the next level, right? There are no restrictions when it comes to who they need to be. But there are qualifications to these people because you don't want to just hear anybody, right? You don't want to listen or take advice from everybody, right? And also you need to kind of distinguish what the line is between, are they really being honest, or there's an underlying theme of jealousy there. Okay, so there are things that you need to look out for to qualify them as the people that are in your corner, like the people that you have them in your pocket that you can reach out to. In fact, Dr. Gill said, I did some things, and there's some people that I was able to call on and say whatever anytime I needed good advice. And to be honest with you, that is how my life has catapulted extremely whenever God brought those people into my life, because um, yes, they don't sugarcoat or anything, but like they genuinely had a care for my success. They generally had a care for my success, and they generally wanted me to win. And they were not always visible. Yeah, they were not always visible, but they were an extension of me. And I was, I am. Actually, I still have them. I am extremely honored and grateful to have these people that are able to steer me in the right direction every time I'm kind of falling off. Okay. And so these group of individual, like I was saying, if you don't have them in your life, that's okay. Um, you may want to, start doing some digging, some searching to figure it out. If it's a temporary season where, you're just stretching yourself so they can come. And I say that because there's equal investments in your lives, right? They're not just investing in your life, you're also investing in their lives, okay? And so there's equal investment, right? And so you also have to be a safe space for them as much as they are for you. And so if you're navigating these kind of muddy waters and you don't know whether you have them or not, that's okay. Know that they're coming and know that they're going to make a difference in your life, because that's what happened to me. And so for my people of faith, because I am a person of faith, the one example that I had in my mind, I am in a season of David since the beginning of the year, was Joab. Yes, I hope I'm saying his name right. Yes, it was Joab. And Joab played a significant role in David's leadership, specifically in Second Samuel. Because David had reached a point where he couldn't pick himself up. He was beaten down by what his son Absalom was doing, and he just had a seriously hard time. Because as a father, he felt like he failed, didn't know how to show love to his son, right? He recognized that he played a part in the fallout. Essentially, he recognized he played a part in the fallout. But the unfortunate part about this was that, he was a terrible father. He still had to be a leader, right? He still had people that he was leading. And that was a moment in time where Joab, who was essentially his servant or his confidant, right, basically set him straight. He was like, you know what? Let me read it to you, okay? It's in Second Samuel verses 19. So I'm going to start reading from the verse 5, and I'm reading from the NIV version. It says, Then Joab went into the house to the king is David, and said, Today you have humiliated all your men who have just saved your life and the lives of your sons and daughters and the lives of your wives and concubines. You love those who hate you and hate those who love you. You have made it clear today that the commanders and their men mean nothing to you. I see that you would be pleased if Absalom, the son, were alive today and all of us were dead. Now go out and encourage your men. I swear by the Lord that if you do not go out, not a man will be left with you by nightfall. This will be worse for you than all the calamities that have come on you from your youth till now. Woo, that was rough. Yes. So Joab just basically went out of character, okay? But it was necessary for David. Because remember, it's okay for you to be in your feelings, but you still have a whole, like, you have people to serve. And the fact that David couldn't do it, Joab mastered the courage and said, wake up. He probably slapped him left and right. What were his words? Because obviously he still respected the king. And so he set him straight. In that season, Joab was David's posse. In that season, Joab was David's posse. Okay? He basically let him know that we risked our life for you. You basically are saying that our lives means nothing, even though David was perfectly aware that what his son was doing was going to eventually end in his demise. It's not like he didn't know, but because he was captured by his own guilt and whatever he was feeling at that time, he lost sight of what was important. And what was important was that he had a lot of people looking after him. I mean, the soldiers risked their lives not because they wanted to, right? Not because they wanted to go against David, or not because they didn't have anything to do with their lives. They had made up their mind that David, as a king, must rule no matter what. Okay. Now it sounds very cutthroat, but the truth of the matter is that that's what. That is just the season that he was in, and that is the environment that they were in. And so the fact that Joab was able to recognize that if I don't speak to this man straight, we're all going to be in doom. Because if you read the previous verses, and I think the previous chapter, I mean, like, David was in deep distress. Like, he could not basically fathom that his own son went to great extent to basically come after his life, and everything that he had built over the years, everything that he had built with his father in heaven, all the favor, all the battles, like nothing. And Joab reminded him of that. He said, if you don't do anything about this today, this will be worse than everything that you've been through. So this will be worse than you running after, you running for your life because Saul was after you. You conquering all of those cities and uniting them. You X, Y, like he basically reminded him that, yes, this sucks. Okay, we know that it sucks. We know that you are hurt, but everything that you have built up until now is going to go down the drain if you don't get your act together. Okay? And that's what happens when you have posses in your corner. I cannot even begin to tell you how many times I had people call me and say, Henrietta, get it together. You cannot shame your father in heaven right now. You cannot disgrace all of these people that have invested in you, all of these people that have loved you, all of these people that have sacrificed for you, just because you're in your feelings. You cannot control the mistakes that you've done in the past, but you can rectify it. As a matter of fact, he said, I swear to God, which I was like, wait, God, like this man is swearing, whatever. Let's not get distracted. But he was like, I swear to God that if you don't go out there and show yourself as the great leader, as the great man, as the person that people love, you will lose every single one of them. Can you imagine? That's what Joab did. And so the message today is clear. Okay, like I always say, let's not make it complicated. In this season, whether you're in a turbulent time or whether you're in a time of jubilation, okay? Make sure that you have authentic, honest, kind people in your corner. These are people that can literally come to you and say, hey, wake up. I know you've been sleeping for some time. I know that you are grieving over things that you've lost, but there is a lot at stake. Okay, and a lot at stake is your future. A lot at stake could be your children. A lot at stake could be your workplace. A lot at stake could be your ministry. It is okay to feel bad about something you couldn't control in the past. But what is ahead of you, if you don't rectify it, you're going to let that one element basically destroy everything that you've built so far. Joab said, whatever you've built from your youth is going to go down the drain if you don't get up and do the right thing. And so that is what you need. The people that would say, this is the right thing. And let me tell you something, which Dr. Gill said it beautifully. They don't always have to be your friend. I am someone. My ministry is so unique, okay? My ministry is so unique because I am able to connect with people from all walks of life because I understand that I am on a mission. I perfectly understand that I am on a mission. And so, yes, I have few key in like people that are the foundation. They ride with me and I've been walking with them for many, many years and decades, okay? I have those very limited amount of people, but I also know that when God needs me to go to the next level, he brings strangers to basically uplift me. And so I'm not always sitting in my comfort zone. I'm always looking at looking at God's moments in this, because I somebody will be the reason why I can get to the next level. Yes. And as much as I would love for God to come from heaven with his chariots and give me everything that I need, the truth of the matter is he's going to use people to help me to help me get to the next level. And that's how it's going to be for you. And so again, you need the right people. The right people are not perfect. They are not the smartest. Sometimes they're just smart and wise are not the same, okay? They're just wise people who have had years of experience that you can learn from, so that you don't so that you don't make the same mistakes. Okay, so those are the people that you need to look out for, and you also need to be a safe space for them. You also need to be somebody's posse. Yes, you also need to be somebody's posse. When we line up the people that you say, these are the people that are in my corner, they may be different, but they all need to be an extension of you. Okay. One of my mentees turned little sisters. When I introduced her to my group, she said, "Sister, I can see it." Okay. They're very different people from all different backgrounds, but I see a trait of you in each and every single one of them. Okay. That is how it's supposed to be. They're supposed to be an extension. They're supposed to be a trait. They're supposed to have a traits that people recognize and say, huh, I see, but they still have their own individual identities, okay? And so again, I feel like I've rambled on for a minute, but I promise you that I came in peace, okay? I don't want to fight, or I don't want to sound like I'm trying to fight somebody here, but this is very important. This is what has set me apart from the average Joe. Not because I have anything special to offer other than being the daughter of God, obviously, but it's because I've always had people in my corner that steered me in the right direction. I've always had people that were able to look at the overall picture. They look at things from the top down, because while I'm in the valley, I can't really see what's up there, right? They've been able to look at things from the top down and say, you know what, turn left. You know what, turn right. You know what, Henrietta, stand still. Okay, or look up, look down, or Henrietta, you don't have to change anything, just do a little bit of this, a sprinkle of that. And that has made a tremendous amount of difference in my life, in my family's life, and my environment. Okay? Because I believe that life is meant to be shared and lived with other people, right? We're supposed to learn off of each other. And so I hope you liked my message today. And like I said, it's very important, and I'd like to hear from you. Yes, you know what? Better yet, tag them. I want you to tag the people in the comment section that are part of your posse, okay? That are part of you're the one, okay? And I also want to have your take on this, because I know sometimes you go through a season when it's like, Henrietta, I don't really have anybody. That is also fine. I want to hear from you, okay? And so I hope you like my message. Once again, I'm Henrietta, the mentor and the strategist, and I will see you on the next episode.